But let's focus back to the Indian markets. Mr. G. Chokkalingam joins us to talk on fundamentals, and Samit Chavan from Angel Broking to talk about the technicals. Samit, let me start with you first. It's been an extremely range-bound trading session today. In fact, we've been very muted, trading in an extremely narrow range for the last few sessions, barring that one or two big moves that we saw at the start of last week. Purely from a technical perspective, the levels of 9,000 to 9,100 that we were talking about 3 to 4 weeks back, are they off the table for this year at least? Or do you think that markets could make some kind of a sustained up move before the year ends?
Good afternoon. Yes, it is quite obvious to have such kind of lethargic movement, considering the fact that we have 2 days holiday or tomorrow and day after tomorrow. We are seeing a range as of now, and the point that you highlighted just now, whether 9,000, 9,100 is possible this year or not, then probably at least for next couple of months it becomes very difficult for Nifty to surpass 9,000, considering the fact the weekly and monthly chart structure that we have been observing since last 3 weeks. To be honest, we have been maintaining our cautious stance on the market since last 3 weeks. During the pre-anti-penultimate week, we saw formation of shooting star pattern on weekly chart, and since then we have been trading with a slightly negative bias. Clearly, every minor dip, minor bounce is clearly getting sold into. Now, at least for next 3 to 4 days, we have a view that Nifty might consolidate within a range of 8800, 8825 on the higher side, and lower side 8500, 8550 has become a very strong support. So this has become a range now for Nifty. Sooner or later, we expect Nifty to break 8500, 8550, which has been acting as a very strong support. But whether it will happen in a week or so, that would be very difficult to take a call. As of now, 8825 would be a crucial level to watch out for on the upside. So long as Nifty trades below 8825 on a closing basis, we would see Nifty retesting those 8600, 8580 levels.
Fair point, Samit. Mr. Chokkalingam, the earnings are back again. IndusInd Bank tomorrow, the tech heavyweights on Thursday and Friday. What are we watching out for this time around? I was speaking to an analyst from CRISIL about an hour back, and they are projecting a 7% jump in Q2 revenues ex BFSI and oil and gas, the second best in the last 6 quarters. Are you in the camp that believes that possibly earnings are at the bottom right now? We could see some upgrades going forward from here?
Yeah, certainly, yes. Of course, the improvement would not be substantial. Certainly, 200-300 basis point improvement would be there in terms of net profit growth, as on year-on-year basis, as compared to profit growth in June quarter on year-on-year basis. The signs are already visible. If you take material mineral prices, there has been substantial, significant improvements. And some of the banks which have come out with the results already, they have shown NPAs, tapering off. As so far, a couple of banks, we have seen the NPA has not surged the way it used to surge in the last 2-3 quarters. And we have already seen in the numbers from automobile sector. So this whole season should be, supported by automobile sector, banks, OMCs, the users of oil derivatives. So all these sectors should provide a good support to the overall corporate earning. So according to me, the worst was over in the March quarter itself. Now, starting from the September quarter, we would see sequentially improvement in the corporate earning. The comfort also comes from the macro factors which I have been highlighting again and again, like fuel consumption, import of crude oil, excise duty collections. All these points are giving us a lot of comfort on improvement in the corporate earning.
Fair point, Mr. Chokkalingam. I'll speak to you and Samit about each of those sectors. But before we touch any of them, let me talk to you about the metal space. Tata Steel among the top gainers in trade today. Hindalco is also doing well. Possibly some kind of a bottoming out as far as the commodity cycle is concerned, or is it just a reactionary move? You also have a Credit Suisse report coming in on a Tata Steel saying that the European operations may not be as bad as previously thought, and if they do reach some kind of a deal as far as the pensions are concerned, you could see a significant up move in the stock. Where do you come in on that?
No, as far as metals are concerned, they already played out nicely. This morning, in fact, we saw the media report on steel industry, export and import figure. The imports have come down a lot and the exports have improved. But the disappointing fact is that the domestic consumption of steel is still growing in a poor single digit, whereas in the market, steel stocks like Tata Steel have been quite rewarded already. Similarly, Hindalco has been the beneficiary of rebound in metal prices, but we have seen the numbers on the consolidated level, which is not giving a lot of comfort on further up move in the stock. So rather than focusing on metal stocks like Hindalco, SAIL or Tata Steel, I would focus on mineral companies like NMDC, MOIL. I still believe that they've got a lot of potential. Already they have a lot of cash. Unlike metal counterparts, they don't have any debt, a lot of cash on the book. And some of them have recently raised the prices also, their output prices. So I would shift towards minerals rather than playing on metals at this juncture.
Right, and NMDC MOIL, of course, there was a report in the morning as well that the government may divest some stake in them by Q4 of FY17 itself. Sameet, come on some of these metal names or possibly some of the mineral names that Mr. Chokkalingam just mentioned. Any trading opportunities that you see there? Tata Steel, Hindalco, NMDC MOIL, anything that you like?
See, we have been maintaining our positive bias on this stock. Earlier, we had a positive call on Tata Steel for a target of 410, 412. This stock has already surpassed this level. The momentum is quite strong now. It appears that the stock is likely to continue its upward direction, at least towards its major trend line resistance of 430, 435, probably in next couple of weeks' time. So it has. We have a positive view, and we maintain our positive stance on the Tata Steel, at least for another 4 to 5% upward move. On the low side now, for 400, 390 has become a very strong support. Apart from that, we have a positive call on Hindalco as well. The stock is clearly trading above its important resistance of 160, 161 since last 3 to 4 trading sessions. So this stock would also continue its upward direction. For 168, 172 would be the next levels to watch out for. So we'll maintain our positive bias on Hindalco as well as Tata Steel.
Right, just about 10 minutes to go for the close of trade. The markets are back at 8,700 right now, holding on to 8,700 on the Nifty, 8706. That's where we are at right now. We've seen some slide back towards that. Of course, it's been an extremely narrow range as we've been discussing that markets have traded in today. Just about 30 to 40 points. That's the kind of movement that you've had within the Nifty 50 companies. Mr. Chokkalingam, IndusInd Bank earnings tomorrow, kickstarting the earnings season as it were. What are you expecting from them this time around? They've been a consistent performer, but as far as trends emerge, what could we see in terms of private banks in Q2?
Certainly, IndusInd Bank would not be in line with the overall trend in the private banks, because overall trend in the private banks are influenced also by ICICI Bank and Axis Bank, and of late they have not been showing the kind of robust profit growth IndusInd Bank is showing. So therefore, what I mean is that IndusInd Bank, probably would maintain, the profit growth in the range of 25 to 30%, and they would be able to maintain even the asset quality at a more or less similar level as compared to June quarter. So, but the price has already taken into account the superior achievement of IndusInd Bank in relation to other private sector bank. It is trading at a substantial premium to bank like Axis, more than 2 times the business what IndusInd Bank has. So therefore, I would only suggest a hold on IndusInd Bank rather than buying IndusInd Bank at this kind of valuation. I would have a tilt towards a bank like Axis Bank.
Sameet, comment on that. What's going on in an Axis Bank? It's been weak in trade for the last few days, down about 3.5% on last 5 trading sessions, about 15% on a 1-month basis. What are the charts suggesting on something like an Axis Bank, and also consequently any of your picks in the banking space?
See, ever since we saw a breakdown from its major support of 580 on 23rd September, this stock has been trading with a negative bias. However, in last 2 weeks, we have seen a consolidation happening in this stock. Now, in the near term, 550, 555 would be seen as a major hurdle. So long as it trades below this important resistance level, the possibility of sliding towards 500, 490 cannot be ruled out. So clearly in the near term, we would have a cautious stance on Axis Bank. The stock is likely to test 500, 490 levels. But if one has a medium to longer term perspective, then probably 500, 490, these are the levels to watch out for. One can start accumulating in a staggered manner once the stock reaches this important support levels. Apart from that, we have a positive call on mid-cap banking stock, Federal Bank. Clearly, it has been outperforming stock since last 6 months, is now trading around it's near its all-time high. Any dip probably towards 68, 65 would be a very good buying opportunity, and probably next 3 to 4 months we expect this stock to surpass 75, 76 and move towards probably next extension ratios which are placed around 85, 86.
Infosys gaining prominence in trade, sitting at the highest point of the day right now, over a 1.5% move. In fact, the biggest contributor to the markets being in the green at the moment. Samit, this stock has largely been flat for the last month or so, and it's been a dismal performance as far as some of the large cap IT names are concerned. Of course, you've had that warning come in from Infosys as well. Ahead of its earnings later this week, how does Infosys look on the charts for you?
See, clearly with the medium-term view, this stock is trading in a downtrend ever since it broke down from its major support level of 1100 probably 3 to 4 months back. It has been consolidating in a narrow range, but with a near-term view, we will have a negative stance on the Infosys as long as it maintains its position below 1060, 1065, which is the near-term hurdle. Yes, low side major support level to watch out for would be 1011. As long as this stock holds 1000, we would see consolidation happening in a range of 1065 to 1000. But once this stock breaks 1000, then the stock is likely to head towards its multi-year support levels of 950, 930.
Mr. Chockalingam, IT earnings, Q2 usually the strongest quarter for these companies, but with the kind of warnings that possibly TCS and Infosys have put out, as also a couple of the mid-cap names, and the issues that you're seeing around Cognizant in the US, are we set for a prolonged weakness in this space, or do you think this is a one-off and IT remains a solid bet?
No, I've been saying for last few years that wealth creation story in large IT cap stock is over. I continue to maintain the stance for two reasons. As I've discussed earlier, today this $100 billion of export base, IT export base, you can't grow in a strong double digit. That too when, the European economy is growing at just around 1%, and even US GDP growth has slipped down to 1.7%. So both are hitting IT sector, base effect and slowdown in the economy of US and Europe. And therefore, I don't see any significant double-digit growth in dollar term, at least for next 1 to 2 years. At best, they would remain as a defensive bet. As far as Infosys is concerned, I feel fundamentally it has bottomed out. Now it trades at around 14 times 1 year forward earnings. I think there is an opportunity for conservative investors to bet on Infosys. I'm sure a decent return it can give in the short to medium term. However, as you ended saying, the next 2-3 years also there won't be any opportunity for making big money in these counters.
Mr. Chockalingam, with the kind of global cues we have right now, you've had Deutsche Bank highlight some concerns, and possibly the fallout of that could be disastrous for IT companies that rely heavily on BFSI, or whether it's the talk of protectionism with US elections around the corner. How serious are some of these concerns for these tech companies, and also possibly for the contagion spillover to the Indian banking system?
As far as Indian IT companies are concerned, I would say that, if the new authority in the US, if they go against India's IT exports, and then it could be a problem. But I have a strong, considering the political alignment, vis-a-vis China and Japan, the kind of economic political relationship emerging in this part of the world, I do not see any major risk for IT companies, in the sense I don't expect the new authority to go terribly adverse against India's exports. So therefore, I don't see any major threat coming from that. even from Russia Bank, there won't be any major impact for market as a whole, because there is a big difference compared to Lehman and this. Lehman episode came as a big shock overnight, whereas this, people have been anticipating for a few quarters. So therefore, as far as stock markets are concerned, it would not have any devastating impact. So therefore, according to me, the Indian market would again driven by domestic fundamentals. The only concern for Indian market, in my view, would be any possible geopolitical tensions.
Geopolitical tension, the clear trigger to watch out for Indian markets. Samit, just about 2 minutes to go before we close trade. I want your perspective on RIL, but before that, any trading calls that you have right now? Any interesting trades that have caught your eye?
See, though we have a cautious stance on the market, we expect outperformance from mid-cap stocks to continue. From sugar space, we have a buy call on Balrampur Chini. Clearly on Friday, this stock confirmed its price volume breakout from its near-term hurdle after nearly consolidation of 3 to 4 weeks. Today, we are seeing a subdued movement in the stock. The stock is poised for a higher up move probably in the near term. We expect this stock to move towards 124, 126, which would be our near term target. So any dip would be a buying opportunity, 110 would be a stop loss. On the short sell side, we are slightly negative on Petronet LNG, considering the fact the stock has been forming narrow range bodies since last 3 days. Today we are seeing nearly 1.5% cut in the stock. So we would short sell this stock for a target of 357, 355. Stop loss would be around 376.
Right, gentlemen, just hold your thoughts there. Just about 30 odd seconds to go before we close this trading session. Remember, this is a truncated week. You're coming off a weekend, 2 more trading holidays lined up after this. So volumes have been thin, but it's clearly a day that's belonged to select metal and cement companies. So you have Tata Steel that will close out trade as a top gainer on the Nifty, up 3% in trade, followed by an ACC and a Hindalco. Both these stocks doing well, up by about 2.5% to 2% each. Asian Paints having a good day in trade as well, up by about 2%. You had Cipla, Lupin, both of these names did well. Infosys picked up momentum in the last 10 to 15 minutes of trade, and that will close up by about 1.75%. Remember, earnings come out on Friday. Bharti Infratel rebounding in trade today. Ambuja Cement doing well, as also an Ultratech Cement. Some of the names that did not look good in trade, RIL, and we were just talking to Samit about this, with the kind of levels that you should be watching out on this one. I'll get his perspective after markets close, but this has had a bad day today. Has given up 1100 support and down by about 1.5%. NTPC down in trade. Adani Ports seeing a knock of about 1%. Bank of Baroda was weak, as also BPCL, HDFC, Grasim and SBI. From the mid-cap universe, Nalco, that was a top gainer on the street today, up about 6.5%. Tata Com doing well, up by about 5.5%. Shriram City Union having a good day in trade. Suzlon was up by about 2.5%, as also Dish TV. Ramco Cement up by about 2.6%. So mid-cap cement also amongst the gainers today. Titan was up 2%, and you've had some of these jewelry names do well in trade on the back of festive bump up that we've been expecting. Some of the names that did not look too good today, Bajaj Holdings, but that was down, as also an IRB Infra, a Cholamandalam Finance, Union Bank taking a knock, Bharat Forge down by about 1.7%. Nestle was down 1.6%, as also an Interglobe Aviation. So those that was the market print for you, but largely range bound as far as benchmarks and the broader markets were concerned. Samit, as we close down this session, I wanted to talk to you about an RIL. There was a view in the markets that once the stock scales 1100 and holds above that, it could head to much higher levels technically and possibly pull the markets up as well. But that's clearly not happened on the stock. What's going on in an RIL, and is it likely to remain within that larger range of 900 to 1100 that we've seen, or is there some move likely in this one?
See, I would agree with that view. The stock has already given a breakout from its 6 years consolidation phase. Earlier, 1055, 1060 was acting as a steep hurdle on monthly closing basis. Last month, this stock confirmed its breakout beyond 1060, 1070. Though in last 4-5 trading session, we have seen a consolidation happening. But we expect this stock to move beyond 1200, 1250 if you see another 3 to 6 months time horizon. So next leg of the rally in the market probably would be led by Reliance Industries, and this time this stock can retraced its higher levels of 1200, 1250. Now any dip probably towards its resistance, the earlier resistance level of 1050, 1060 would be a very good buying opportunity, and we don't expect now the stock to slide below 1000, 1020 mark.
Mr. Chokkalingam, rate cut done. Do you expect another one for the year? And with earnings starting and the festive season underway, where are you finding value in this market?
I am expecting another 25 basis point rate cut. This is what I've been saying for the last 2 years. The entire world is still having the fear of deflation. There is no letdown in the fear of deflation in many economies. As far as the season is concerned, I would still bet on to large extent the beaten down defensive stocks like Coal, ITC, Infosys, Lupin. I feel the next leg of rise in the market, subject to geopolitical tension, should come from beaten down defensive stocks. So we have started tilting toward these stocks. Of course, minimum 50% of our portfolio is still in the mid-cap stocks, and we continue to invest in them. Something like names I already mentioned, Moil, Tata Sponge, Coromandel International. In sugar space, Andhra Sugar, KCB Sugar. These are some of the stocks we continue to buy even today, and that's our strategy for the short term.
Point, Mr. Chokkalingam, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for speaking to us today. Samit, thank you for joining us with your perspective on market technicals. We'll call it quits on this edition of the Dealing Room with the news that markets have ended largely flat. The Nifty receding towards 8,700, although ending at about 8,715, up by just about 0.2%. You have 2 trading holidays coming up, and of course big earnings lined up this week. But for now, that's all we have. Up next, it's time for Rising Stars. We'll speak with Alok Mittal of Indefi Technologies.